Hey, welcome back everybody. It is Matthew with Watty's channel. Once again, we are continuing with the WWF Hasbro tournament. So today's date is Saturday, March 25th. So that means, or say the 26th as a matter of fact. Date wise, just checking. Yep, it is the 25th. Okay, just want to make sure. So March 25th, Saturday. At the start of this video, the last videos I had made were the conclusion of the Series 3 review of the LJNs. And I also completed all 3 videos of Round 3 of the Hasbro tournament. So me starting this video right now for the beginning of Hasbro Series 4 or Round 4. I'm probably not going to post this right after the Series 3 round. My goal is probably split up another episode or two. I'm really wanting to do a review of the Cella toy lines. So I've been buying up a number of figures that I don't already own. That way I have a sufficient amount of figures to show you guys when I do that review. I don't have them all, but again, I have a pretty significant amount, so that's good. And there's also some WWE Mattel Monster lines that I'm really looking forward to doing. I've had them for months and months and months, and I've always been wanting to do a review on those figures, but I had never had the complete set, and you guys know how I am. If I don't have every figure for that series or for that line, I don't like to do those type of videos. But at this point, I figure I have enough figures to show you where if I'm missing one or two here or there, it's not really going to make a significant difference. We'll just take a look at the item on the back of the box, and that way you guys kind of have an idea of what you're looking at as far as character or design of said monster, etc. Alright, so at the conclusion of, I'm going to make probably be only 2 videos. Maybe I'll stretch it out to 3 videos, but with 14 figures, remember, remaining in competition, I really don't think I'll have to have 3 videos. You know what, I'll do that, guys. I'll stretch it out some. Do like 5, 5, and 4. And that way, these videos aren't going to run 35 minutes. So, in rounds 2 and 3, what I had done is basically just pick the names at random. And that's what I'm going to continue on for the rest of this tournament, is pick names at random to see who the competitors are. So, first matchup is going to feature Rick Steiner squaring off against the custom Bret Hart. That already right off the bat. I mean, with the remaining 14 figures, I mean, these are all the best of the best. So it's really going to be hard to pick a winner out of these 14. So we are looking at the next set featuring the Giant Gonzalez squaring off against Series 4 Bret Hart. Again, this does not get any easier from this point forward. Bret Hart, Giant Gonzalez. The next matchup is going to feature Series 8 Bret Hart squaring off against Series 3 Ultimate Warrior. That, to be honest, I kind of figured that one would actually be like a finals type of matchup. And if I hadn't initially done it the way I had done before, where we just basically gone in order of the way the figures were situated on the shelf, and they're all broken down by series, so you probably wouldn't have seen those figures square off until the end. But doing it like this, luck of the draw. Custom Sting is going to square off against Series 8 Undertaker. Series 8 Undertaker against Sting. And the very last matchup for this video is going to feature Sergeant Slaughter going up against the Mega Maniac Brutus Beefcake. So, all great matches. And You know what? With only 4 figures remaining, I don't know how I was thinking in my head. I was thinking 14 figures, 5, 5, 4, 14, but I wasn't really thinking each matchup is 2 characters, so that's actually only 7 matchups. So I really only have to do 4 matchups today. So based on the first 4 matchups, that means the Brutus Beefcake versus Sergeant Slaughter won't actually happen until the next video. So again, 4 matchups this video. We're going to have 3 matchups the next video. I'll make both videos today, so they will be ready to go in queue. Alright, so the first one we talked about was the Bulldog, or what they call him, Bullface Gremlin, something like that. I don't know. Though it's Rick Steiner squaring off against the custom Bret Hart. So on an initial inspection, when you first look at this figure, you really think it's a completely new mold of a Hasbro custom. But when you actually look at the face, the spreading of the legs, even the chest and everything, it actually is the exact same Series 4/Series 8 Bret Hart figure. They just added some new molds. So when you feel on the body of the figure, it's not like Hasbro where it's just basically painted onto the figure. You can actually feel the separation between shirt and body, or jacket is separated from the shirt. So that is so spectacular. So they actually, I mean, it's not a removable jacket, of course, but it is, the way that they molded this figure is so absolutely splendid. And every time I bring this figure up, again, he moves closer and closer to being my champion for this tournament. A custom won my LJN tournament, so there's absolutely no reason why you wouldn't suspect a custom to win the Hasbro tournament as well. I mean, I always say I prefer originality over customization anytime, but when you look at how much I value the customs, it may seem like it's the complete opposite. Maybe because it's different and it's a fresh take on certain figures. This, for all I know, could be one of a kind, and you could take your Series 4 Bret Hart, where there's probably millions of those figures out there today, and you look at this, and you know what? I also covet originality. So that plays a huge role. We're down to the last 14 figures, and I've always said that Rick Steiner is one of the greatest Hasbros. Not a top 10 figure, but there is no reason to assume he couldn't be in the top 15 of my top favorite Hasbro action figures. So finding him in the last 14 is pretty significant. And because he is one of the greatest original Hasbro figures, is he the figure that finally knocks off Bret Hart? It's a possibility. Every time I bring this figure up, the competitor that he's going against and this matchup, there's no difference. Every single battle he has faced, the stiffest competition. Again, there's no other competitor in this tournament that's had the level of competition that this custom Bret Hart has squared off against. I mean, we're talking about the elite of the elite figures. So when I say that this figure, in my opinion, has the best opportunity to win this tournament, I'm not exaggerating. Right now, and again, I haven't made my selection. I'm not going to know who the winner is until you guys know who the winner is. But this is a phenomenal piece. Derek, oh no, excuse me, not Derek. This was a Denver Moore figure. You can look him up on eBay, Denver Moore. I haven't actually checked out his store in a while. And I think the only reason is because a lot of his figures, and you look at the quality of this figure, a lot of his figures were expensive. You're looking at probably north of $100 for a single figure. It's worth it. 100% worth every penny to get this figure for $100+. But I kind of, I don't want to say turned away, but I haven't been able to buy anything from him in a while because of that, and I haven't actually been able to go back onto his site in a while. But I really should check out his site, his shop again, because again, I would love to get another piece like this. I mean, what more can I say? Rick Steiner. He has unbelievable colors. One of my favorite aspects of this figure that no other action figure has, and I'm not talking about the simplicity of the singlet. When you throw that singlet in with the headpiece, what do I always talk about? He actually has that actual high school, college level wrestler. You know, not your professional wrestler with a big giant ring and 50,000 fans in the stands type of deal. You know, it's the whole starting on the mat like this type of deal and kind of swiggling away and try and, you know, pin the guy. I don't want to say real wrestling because, again, professional wrestling, it is a sport after all. The guys are professionals. But it's also a storyline. You're as much of an actor as you are an athlete, so a lot of that stuff it's planned ahead of time. Where, you know, what I classify as real wrestling, you know, your high school wrestling matches, unless you're throwing the match, I mean, you're not going to know who the winner is. Two phenomenal pieces. Rick Steiner is an original figure with one of the best looks. This is someone I finally think can upend Bret Hart in this competition. In this particular round, I don't think I'm going to do it. Not yet. Rick Steiner so far had one of the best opportunities to defeat Bret Hart. But I am just so crazy about this figure that I don't know if he wins my tournament. But I think that this right now has the greatest opportunity than any of the figures I've seen thus far. So the Bret Hart Custom is going to push forward into round 5. Rick Steiner, after 4 strong showings, he finally met his match against one of the most elite figures of my collection. So, once again, Bret Hart Custom defeats Rick Steiner. The next matchup is probably just as hard of this matchup as it is in the next battle. So in back-to-back matchups, we're gonna feature Bret Hart figures. So the Series 4 Bret Hart figure, I'll keep rehashing this information. He wasn't a top 10 figure for me. I did have Series 8 Bret Hart on my top 10 list. And I think I had like a special introduction or special showing, special inclusion of this Bret Hart. So let's say Bret Hart Series 8 was number 2 for the sake of argument. You know, 2A, this would have been like 2B or something. This is the Bret Hart from, well, not my Bret Hart from childhood, but I did have this Bret Hart figure, Series 4 from childhood. And again, him and Series 4 Undertaker, there were no other Hasbros that got more use than those two action figures. And to see this Bret Hart in round 4 is pretty incredible. He does go up against another elite top 10 Hasbro figure. I said it before, it shouldn't matter, but I really think it does. In the back of my mind, it probably is going to sway a decision here or there. And what I've said is, I do have another Bret Hart in competition. So, with that being said, if I were to remove Series 4 Bret, you still have Series 8, still going. So you still have Bret Hart, in the battle. Problem is, he's going up against the Ultimate Warrior, so there's like a 70% chance he could lose that battle anyways. But I mean, the custom Bret just pushed forward, so there is a Bret Hart version, possibly even better than this or the 8. Now, imagine this figure wins. Let's say the other Bret Hart wins. I mean, you're gonna have 3 Bret Harts in round 5, which means at that point you're gonna have 3 Bret Harts out of 7 remaining figures. I mean, going off percentage, that's what is that, 37.5% chance of winning having a Bret Hart winning tournament. That's absolutely crazy to think that we probably started off with well over 100 action figures, and I think that a Bret Hart figure, just say Bret Hart. We don't have to say it. Bret Hart would have like a 37.5% chance of winning. That's crazy. Think about those statistics. But the Giant Gonzalez, I've said it before. This is right alongside the Skinner figure and the Series 3 Ultimate Warrior figure. Most perfect play pose. I love the fact that they actually made this figure bigger than the other Hasbros. So Hasbros in general about 4.5 inches. This one's probably hovering closer to 5 inches. I mean, I didn't exactly sit there with the ruler to measure the figure, but obviously it's taller than the others, so you'd think it gives it about another inch or so. Always one of my favorite figures because he's always in pristine shape. Body-wise, the figure is incredible. Fighting pose is perfect. The look of the figure is absolutely amazing. I mean, a very easy and reasonable action. I mean, nothing crazy. No little pump on the back we push down and no head popping up. It's just an absolutely gorgeous figure. Definitely, I mean, to say perfect, I mean, I know I throw that word around for a lot of figures, but it's a perfect figure. They're both perfect figures. I mean, the only thing that I think that gives Bret Hart the leg up in this matchup is nostalgia. If Bret Hart pushes forward to the next round, it'll be because of nostalgia only. Never having Hasbro Series 5 onward, and this being the most used figure of all time, yeah, of course, this is going to be the one I gravitate towards. Can I usurp one of my all-time favorite figures for just an absolutely superior and phenomenal figure? At the current moment, I'm going to say no. The Giant Gonzalez is, again, made it to the bottom 14 figures. He is an elite figure, top 10 figure, perfect in every way. You can't really do much better. But I think at the end of the day, nostalgia is what's going to get me with this figure. And the Series 4 Bret Hart is going to push forward into round 5. I'm not surprised that he's a round 5 figure, but some of the matchups, he's had some good ones, some toughies. So, once again, Bret Hart in the next matchup. And here's what gets me, guys. If this Bret Hart beats the Warrior, your first 3 winners out of round 4 are going to be Bret Hart figures. So that means half of your winners. Let's see, you got 1 matchup, 2, 3 matchups. Okay, so 3 out, not half, because we got 4 matchups. 3 matchups next time. So 3 matchups next time, another matchup here. So 3 out of 7 figures is going to feature your Bret Hart figures. I don't remember where I placed either one of these figures when I did my review last April, whenever it was. I want to say that I had Ultimate Warrior at number 2, and I think I had Bret Hart Series 8 at number 3. Again, you could throw that whole list out of the, throw it out of this competition, throw it out the window, because you're not really, just because you like the look of a figure doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to necessarily win this competition. I mean, you could have had a number 2 Ultimate Warrior figure squaring off against, I don't know, what's a figure I really enjoy that's not in this competition anymore. What's a good one that I always gravitate towards? I always say Purple Crush, of course, is always a great one, always one of my favorites. Series 11 Yokozuna, maybe. Series 11 Yokozuna didn't crack my top 10. The original Series 8 Yokozuna did, but again, an absolute perfect figure. If I didn't do customs versus original figures in the first round, there is a possibility both the original Series 3 Ultimate Warrior as well as his custom counterpart could have been in this final or in this fourth round. So if one got eliminated and the other didn't, you'd still have a Warrior in competition. If I ever do a Hasbro tournament again, which could be, if I did make that decision to do it, it would probably be like 6 months down the road or a year down the road. I mean, like I said, I never expected to do a second LJN tournament, and I did. Not only did I do a second tournament, but I'm really thinking about, doing my third tournament. Kind of like making it like a baseball season or basketball season or something. Have a new season every year type of deal. So with the amount of customs that I acquire, I'm always gonna have new figures to show. So it won't be the same old figures every single time. But if I ever did an LJN tournament, I'd have to pick certain figures that I know have no shot of winning the tournament, kick them out, because to me, those videos just go way too long. I mean, I think I had almost 30 videos each time, like 25, 26 videos, so I have to find some way to kind of shave it down to like 10 videos, 12 videos type of deal. But anyways, back to this matchup. I'm talking about other things because I don't want to talk about this because it's literally the most impossible decision. I don't think any other matchup in this entire tournament thus far has been as hard as this one. Your number 2 and my number 3 favorite figures squaring off against each other. You might as well have number 1, number 2 squaring off because, I mean, this is just as difficult. Play pose, much better. Overall, facial paint, obviously, that he has that Bret Hart doesn't. The head sculpt with the face, with the paint and everything, much better than the Bret Hart. They just recycled the Series 8, or the Series 4 Bret Hart head. I really would have liked if they'd given him a whole new, different head look. I didn't have Series 8, but I mean, again, he's basically just a Series 4. He's just a Series 4 repaint. So, nostalgia reasons, if you put this figure in my hand and, blindfolded me, I would never be able to tell the difference between a 4 and an 8. So, for nostalgic reasons, yeah, I would still say that this figure holds more weight than a majority of the figures in this tournament. The overall design with the warrior masks around his waist, the little warriors, little Batman looks. Even the boots, I mean, with little tassels. Again, this is, you can't do more perfect than the Hasbro Series 3 Warrior. And then you get into Bret Hart. What do I always talk about? They by changing the color scheme, by mixing it up, by altering pink on top, black on bottom, they provided a much better look, in my opinion, with the pink shirt. So, better look, and again, Series 4 overall appearance is very plain. This one, they just went all out with the design. Everything from the design of the little graphic on the t-shirt and a little heart with wings. And what I always talk about, the side of the pants that wraps around to the back portion. I mean, this is an absolutely perfect figure. Once I do get the figure sent out to my buddy Eric, he is going to create this Series 8 Bret Hart for me. Repaint a new Bret Hart, or customize the Bret Hart figure for me to give me this one. And it's going to be an absolute perfect addition for the LJN collection. But 25 minutes in, guys. I have one more matchup. This is going to hover past 30 minutes. I'm sorry. I mean, I've done this a few times. I've shocked the world at least twice, if not 3 times. I think I'm going to shock the world again. I'm going to go with Bret Hart. I still think that the Ultimate Warrior is the superior figure, but I mean, you can't go wrong with the Series 8 Bret Hart. I mean, I'm sure there are plenty of people out there who feel like Series 8 Bret is the number one greatest Hasbro figure of all time, and possibly the greatest figure, period, of all time. So, I think at the end of the day, once again, nostalgic reasons, this posed figure, this is that's childhood for me, and for nostalgic reasons, yeah. I know this play pose a whole lot better. Just being able to grip the figure and hold it as so. It's memories, man. I can't kick this one out. At least not yet. I mean, does he get kicked out in round 5, round 6? Does he make it to the semifinals? Let's put it that way. Maybe not, but I mean, either one of these figures could have won the entire tournament. So it's really hard to see them out so early. Again, round 4 elimination for those particular figures. I think they deserve more of a round 5, round 6 type. But all right, so the last matchup is going to feature Denver Moore's Sting Custom squaring off against the Undertaker from Series 8. Just like Bret Hart from Series 4, I had the Undertaker Series 4 as a kid. Second only to Bret Hart as my most played with figure. At one point, his extended arm broke off, so all we had to play with was the right arm with basically up to the elbow missing, or up to the elbow. So, I mean, you still sat there and wrestled him the same way you would as if his arm was there. You think of it as like a little phantom arm and hand and stuff. I still felt like, based on the look of the figures, I really like Series 8 better with the dark hair. So I kind of felt like if Series 4 and 8 ever squared off, I would choose the Series 8. So what was it, last round I believe I eliminated Series 4 Undertaker. Because I had this one still in competition, I'm like, you know what? It sucks. To me, Series 4 was a legitimate, not only a semifinalist, quarterfinalist. No, he was a legitimate winner of the My Favorite Hasbro tournament. And but by saying him kicked out in round 3, I had no idea I'd ever get rid of him that early. Just another absolutely perfect action figure. Denver Moore, his figures between Bret Hart and Sting are so absolutely remarkable, and I didn't pull it out, but I'm going to do it now. So, from Samurai Collectibles, they're an amazing group of people that operate out of Japan. So I always buy from them off eBay, of course. The Hasbro custom of Sting, I've always talked about, the original San Francisco Toymakers figure. But before it was original San Francisco and before the Hasbro custom, you had the Galoob Series 2 UK exclusive. And so when you actually review the two figures, I mean, it is so darn near perfect, darn near similar, identical. I mean, does he make a few changes here and there? Of course. I mean, like this jacket has like some little medals on the side of the jacket. I'm trying to see if the little stripes down the middle. So this figure has like red stripes down the middle, red lines, parallel lines. Well, this has the pink lines. Even the face paint. Face paint is darn near perfect. Obvious, not 100% perfect, but it's not a 100% duplicate figure, but it's so close that when I finally got this Hasbro in, just to have Sting as a Hasbro figure, and You know, forget the Mattel retros. No, retros to me, they're retros. I'll refer to them simply as retros. I won't call them Hasbro retros or anything like that. Mattel retros, that's all they are. To me, they're a completely different line. Yes, they're similar to Hasbro's, but they're not Hasbro's. They have a couple different Sting figures. I mean, I have that entire line. But to me, this was an amazing addition. Does both Denver Moore action figures, customs, do both of his figures move forward to round 5? Nostalgia played a role not once but twice already in this video and pushed forward 2 awesome Bret Hart figures into round 5. Will Nostalgia continue to play a role and push forward an Undertaker figure that I absolutely love into round 5, or does he finally get disbanded by one of the most perfect customs you can ever find? If the last match, this entire video has been nothing but difficult. I mean, 4 matchups you would think would probably take 20 minutes, and we're probably going to hover around 35 because I just can't make a decision on these figures. They're just that good. Such a fantastic piece. I am dying to call out Sting. I am sticking with Nostalgia, and if Nostalgia really does play its role the way that I think it will, if the custom Bret Hart figure doesn't make it into the finals, there is no reason to think that the Undertaker and one of the Bret Hart figures won't, or wouldn't be able to, because they've already beat some great figures in this round based off the Nostalgia. So, and I said it before the tournament, if I ever did a Hasbro tournament, to me it always made sense that Series 4 Bret Hart or Undertaker would win the tournament because those were my figures. So for now, 3 Bret Harts and 1 Undertaker is in round 5. I am going to end the video here. I'm going to come back, or I'm going to stay here. I'm going to make one more video to close out round 4. And that's only going to be 3 matchups. So hopefully 20-minute video. See, 3 matchups. So 3 winners. That's going to give me 7 winners total. Which means I could probably get round 5 done in 1 video. So I might make 2 more videos at least to knock out round 4 and round 5. And then round 6 will probably be 1 video. Heck, I just might polish them all off, and that way this entire tournament is complete. Again, today's Saturday. On Monday the 27th, the guys are coming in to build me my shelves, and once that happens, I'm going to start putting my 5 tier shelves back up against that door, block off that door like I had before, start bringing in my collectibles, putting them back on the shelves, and finally getting this room set up to my liking. Now, I really like the open space, the open floor plan right now, because I got plenty of space right here to have, you know, this as a background. I have my custom wall as a background. And once I start setting up my layout, I'm not going to have that space anymore. So I probably won't be able to have this background in my videos anymore, which sucks. But we'll see how far back I got to push the couch. Maybe if it's only a few inches, it won't really make much of a difference. But that's it for now, guys. That's the updates. That's video 1 of round 4. Thank you so much for watching as usual. I will talk to you in the comments, and see you in the next video. Goodbye, everyone.